In this lesson, we're going to construct a speed-time graph for a body travelling with constant speed. That's to say, on her journey, this cyclist travels at a constant speed during each stage of her journey. So, for example, between A and B, she travels at 30 kilometers per hour. So we represent that on the speed-time graph as a horizontal line at 30 kilometers per hour during 3 hours. So her speed during this stage is constant. So that's from A to B. She travels at 30 kilometers per hour. Then when she gets to B, she slows down to 20 kilometers per hour and she travels at 20 kilometers per hour for 3 hours. From B to C, she travels at 20 kilometers per hour. Now when she gets to C, she decides to have a rest for 3 hours, and we represent that with a horizontal line at 0 kilometers per hour. In other words, she's stationary during 3 hours. And in the last stage, between C and D, she travels at 25 kilometers per hour. So how do we calculate the distance travelled during each stage of the journey? Well, first of all, remember the expression for speed. We say that the speed of an object, s, is equal to the distance covered divided by the time taken. Now we can place these variables in a speed triangle. We remember that of these 3 letters, D comes first in the alphabet, so you can remember that's the one that goes on the top of the triangle, and then S times T. So rearranging the expression, we see that D is equal to S speed times T time taken. Now if we look at that graph then during this first stage, well, we see on the vertical axis we have the speed, and on the horizontal axis we have the time. So the distance travelled is S times T. In other words, it's this height here multiplied by this length here. So it's 30 times 3. In other words, it's the area under the speed time graph. So all we need to do to calculate the distance travelled in each stage is measure the area under the speed time graph. So in this case, the area is 30 kilometers per hour times 3 hours, which is equal to 90 kilometers. In the next stage, it's 20 kilometers per hour times 3, which is equal to 60 kilometers. Now in this stage, clearly she's at rest, so the distance she travels is 0 kilometers. And in the final stage, we have 25 kilometers per hour times 3 equals 75 kilometers. So to calculate the distance travelled during each stage of the journey, you just need to measure the area under the graph for each stage.